hold
Greg,
her.
why are you on your knees? Why are your jeans ripped there?
You know, it happens.
Who were you proposing to?
Whoa.
Oh. Speaking of,
That's still a mystery because, you know, as I was just telling you before, where, you know, people tend to have baby reveal parties, but what I'm thinking the new trend should be, it should be partner reveal engagement parties.
oh,
As in,
like if you're going to have like a gay partner or binary partner or...
I'm just thinking like, or which partner in general.
Oh.
So you throw a party and you invite like multiple, like maybe like 3 different potential partners, and you announce who you're actually engaged to at
So
that
this
party.
is like The Bachelor.
It's the equivalent to the gender reveal parties. It's like you don't know what it is, then people don't
Honey,
know exactly who you might have proposed to.
I think you're talking about the show The Bachelor.
You know, well,
He has like a lineup of women in the room, and he picks the girl he's going to get engaged
yeah,
to.
but that's different. That's a TV game show, which is all about which one does he choose. This is all about he's already chosen the one.
Oh.
And he's actually revealing who it is from or her, who the actual potential partner is. You know, you're actually revealing it to the family and friends because there could have been multiple. Who knows? You know, people they date multiple people at a time. Who really knows who they're
So
getting
this is for a player.
engaged to? No, it's not for a player. It could be for any individual. It doesn't matter
What
who it
the
is.
hell are you
By the way,
talking
that's
about?
so sexist. A player.
Why is that sexist?
Because that's referred to as like a dude. Oh,
no,
he's a player.
a woman could be playing too.
Oh, I see. But that typically has like a connotation of a man, I feel like. I don't know.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
This
Sounds
past
sexist to
Christmas,
me.
when we were with my whole family, we were playing that voting game.
Oh, yes.
And you all selected me, all of you, as the one who played the most people.
As the player, which I'm still
In
perplexed
college.
by that because you were probably of everyone, I was not a player either, but of everyone, you were probably the least.
I'm probably the most innocent of that group. It's just because my stupid 2-week crushes were portrayed as me playing the field.
Oh, so you're just instead of being a player, you're a serial monogamist. I see how that works. I see how that works. Hey, Monday through Tuesday, I'm with this person and I'm only with that person. But Wednesday and Thursday, I'm with this other person, but I've actually dumped the Monday to Tuesday person. But then Friday and Saturday comes along, you've got someone new. And then all of a sudden on Sunday, you decide to get back with the person for Monday and Tuesday again. I totally get it.
That really wasn't the case. It was like...
Serial monogamy.
No, the dudes...
Why are you you're tripping over yourself right now?
Yeah, the dudes didn't want to actually date me more than 2 weeks at a time.
Well, I mean, I could see why.
The length lasted no more than 2 or 3 weeks.
I know. I'm surprised I've lasted as long as I have.
No, you're a victim.
I guess am I a victim?
You're a victim.
Or am I a victor?
To the Kirthinator.
I think I might consider myself a victor.
Oh, so I thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, I know we shared our engagement story several months ago. But we have quite a few people around us that have recently gotten engaged.
There are.
Yeah,
Like who?
Look.
Who's recently engaged?
Well, our young women that I actually worked with have recently gotten engaged.
I guess recently, but isn't that a while ago now? Didn't we? I mean,
No, one of them just got engaged last week.
Oh, well, that I just found out.
With a unique
yesterday or the day
sapphire
before?
color ring.
Oh,
It
that's
was very,
pretty.
yeah.
Oh, it's a gorgeous ring. That's cool.
Yes.
Congratulations
it's
to her.
funny.
I know exactly who you're talking
well,
about.
the thing is, they call it engagement season, right? That there's a season.
But it's kind of
is
interesting.
Is there really a season?
But that's what I'm asking. They call all of a sudden we get to summer. It's engagement season. We're in the fall. It's engagement season. We're by Christmas. It's engagement season. It's Valentine's Day. It's engagement season.
It's a lot of seasoning happening here.
I feel like engagement season is just
all year
12
round.
months throughout the year.
I think you can get engaged any time of the year.
You probably could, I'm just wondering though, on a leap year, on that extra day, is that part of engagement season or is that like super engaged season since it's now February 29th and only comes around every 4 years? How many people actually maybe wait to get engaged on that particular day?
That is very interesting. We're back from that ad.
Yeah, Kirti fucked up, and so we had to do a quick recovery.
We don't use the F word.
Well, Kirti messed up, so we have to do a quick recovery.
Yes.
Yes.
I did mess up.
Sometimes, yeah. It happens.
It's very rare I mess up, so let's just relish this moment, Greg.
Let's take a look at the definition of that word rare. Typically applied to maybe when cooking. It might be applied to other scenarios, but when it comes to you messing up, that's not really the definition of a word that I would use as it applies to you describing yourself as the amount of times in which you may make an error.
Were you talking?
I was schooling you. See, typical.
Well, anyway,
right.
Look, we were talking about engagements.
We were.
And
Engagements
we were
can be
saying
fun.
we can, I think people can get, and I think you agree with this, engaged any time of the year. There's no
That is true.
time of the year to get engaged.
No, you can.
It should be based on your personal situation.
I feel like engagements, even though, I mean, ours was, kind of planned it out to a degree. And I think people often try to plan out their engagements, but also sometimes you just have to live life and just do it. And I feel like, so I know when I was thinking about getting engaged, you always want to be like the right place in life, right place in your relationship, and like plan everything out. But one thing I've learned about life just doesn't wait. You just have to go and do it. You have to do things and just, trust your instincts, trust the world around you, trust the way life just works itself out, and just go do it. And it doesn't matter what time of year. I don't think there's a right or wrong time of year.
I agree with
to do
you.
it.
I agree with you. I think it just has to be right for the couple at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So what we didn't get to talk about last time,
Oh, what was that?
and the reason I want to raise it this time is the question that we've been being asked by friends.
When
and
are we getting
family.
married?
When are we getting married?
Oh, yes. That's that we have to unpack that one.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with Kirti or myself. There's
certain obstacles.
There are certain obstacles. There is a judicial system, one could say, that is in the way.
Yes, yes.
In the way of us being able to tie the knots.
But that makes me like the reason.
I wouldn't even blame it on the judicial system. I'm going to blame it on someone else.
Yeah, it's about individuals.
It's about individuals.
But something I do want to raise, and I think there is this stereotype.
Raise your glass?
Yes, we can raise a glass.
Raise a glass.
Raise a glass.
Cheers. Mm-hmm. It's like a Pink song.
But I do want to raise the idea that I know there are like stereotypes out there, right? In terms of, you got engaged, you got to start planning your wedding right after, and then get married anywhere from maybe 12 to 18 months after.
I agree. It's like the second you get engaged, like within, like, so for instance, all of a sudden you get proposed to, and you could go tell your family, immediate family, a friend, the first question, other than, let me see the ring, the second question, it could be like 30 seconds after the proposal took place, is, when are you getting married?
It's like, I don't know, I just got engaged.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, I am hitting that 18-month mark, right?
18 months.
Right? Are we?
Is it 18?
Yeah, right.
September 21st. No, excuse me, September 23rd, 2021.
Yeah, literally, we're exactly 18 months.
18 months.
And I'm not getting married yet. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the long engagement because
you're only engaged
once
or twice. But then that engagement period is an engagement period, and then
once
you're just
married, you can't be engaged again.
That's true. You're not engaged anymore.
I don't plan on doing this shit like again. So
neither do I.
I'm happy with this
I'm
decision.
I'm beyond elated with our decision, and I tell you that every day.
I know, and
you tell me that.
I tell you back.
Yes, you do.
But now, with that said, I think it depends on like maybe your age or when you've gotten engaged, right? Mm-hmm. And this need to, I don't know, throw a party and all that. We never threw an engagement party, mostly because I thought that when we got engaged, for those of you who don't know, we got engaged in September of 2021. And now we are in May
A gorgeous engagement.
2023. It was
We
an
are.
amazing proposal. I don't think there's anyone who could beat the proposal.
Why, thank
in
you.
my opinion.
Thank you.
It was
It
not
was from the heart.
It was not cheesy. The place was meaningful. It was a stage that brought us together. There was all these elements to it. But
It was an experience.
but it was also amongst like work friends and industry colleagues. And we thought,
People who had been wanting to see us be engaged for years.
right. But what I'm trying to get to is we had this amazing proposal and we both talked about trying to have an engagement party. But we both thought, well, why waste money on having an engagement party when there's actually the opportunity that we could just save money and plan a wedding instead?
Yes. Especially when we have friends saying, oh my God, this is going to be like a 7-day Indian wedding. Greg, you have to come out riding an elephant. Kirti, you have to have like extravagant clothing change like 5 times a day. Photo shoots, 7 days in India, in Italy. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What are people's expectations of our wedding?
I mean, maybe you guys should fill in the comments of what kind of wedding we should plan, because
Yes.
that is the type of wedding we were being.
Yes. We're taking donations too.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
And any sponsorships
It's
to
gonna
underwrite
be
the
Go Fund
cost
My
for this
Wedding.
elaborate like lifestyles of the rich and famous. I'm waiting for Robin Leach to come out. Actually, is he still alive? Robin Leach? I'm not
I
quite
don't know,
sure.
and I think you're dating us now.
It's okay because he is the original. Like he's the OG when it comes to showcasing lifestyles of the rich and famous. He has OG status there.
I mean, yes, in the 80s, honey.
No, he went into the 90s too, didn't he?
Sure.
Sure.
I don't know. Was I 10?
I don't know. All I know is that
Was
the
I
younger
born?
generations are all but the 90s right now, so therefore he should be back relevant
Was
sometime,
I-
anytime soon.
Born yet?
Let's see here. Well, if you were proposed to in 2021, and based on my age, I hope you were born much earlier than that, or else we'd have some other problems.
But what are your thoughts on like this idea of like engagement parties? Because I have a view. Like, for instance, because there's some posts that we've put up on our IG or whatever, TikTok and stuff, I get like feeds of engagement parties or people who've been engaged.
So I think an engagement party should be thrown if someone wants to throw it. For me as an attendee, I do like, it doesn't have to be an engagement party, but I do like when people throw parties because it's fun to get friends together that you haven't seen in a while, whether it's a birthday party or other. And an engagement party could bring those together that you otherwise may not see from other states that might come in. That part of it is fun. Do I feel that an engaged couple have to throw an engagement party? Absolutely not. For multiple reasons. It's maybe they want a private engagement. Maybe they don't. Maybe they want to put that money towards a wedding. Maybe they don't have the time. Maybe they're finished. Depending on when you get engaged too. Some people are still getting engaged while they're in school, right? And so they need to finish up school.
I mean, that's not us.
That's not us. We're beyond school. But we're always, I'm always schooling you. So
Excuse me. You are not always schooling me.
of course I am. I just did earlier. Some people need to be schooled. That's how they become better, smarter individuals.
No.
And more astute.
This is inaccurate.
What are you talking? Why? I don't drive an Acura. You said what does Acura have to do with any of this? So anyway, back to what we were talking about, engagement parties. I believe that it's up to the individual, and as an attendee, it's kind of sometimes fun, but also as an attendee, you might feel a burden to have to attend it, especially if it's in like another state. So say, for instance, someone was getting engaged and they threw an engagement party in California, we might feel obligated to go. And that poses a large expense on those in which that you want to invite. So I look at it kind of different ways. What are your thoughts on engagement parties?
So I have a question for the world. Why are engagement parties just basically the same as a wedding lately? I feel like they're
That like blown out.
over the top, huge, lavish. Like you're sort of like not leaving any excitement to go to the actual wedding because you're spending all this money hosting this very elaborate engagement party. And at the end of the day, I'm like, how much of that is just like superficial facade versus like if it's really about you and the love of your life, like, okay, great, you got engaged, then
Big deal.
good for you.
Should just be staying at home and being in bed having lots of sex instead.
Probably. I mean, that makes sense. But like these people like have these ridiculous, I mean, my Insta and TikTok feed have like all these ridiculous posts. And I'm like, holy cow. Like even if we wanted to have an engagement party, honestly, I don't think because we have obligations of teenage girls and supporting like more of a real family structure, we don't have all this free money hanging around to like be like, let's have a lavish engagement
Although we do have
party.
a couple money trees. Unfortunately, they don't yield money. Yeah, off the leaves themselves. But hopefully they're good luck. We believe in greenery around the house.
Yes.
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 But back to what you were saying about engagement parties and how lavish they are and how they may compete with the wedding itself. That just reminds me of, Sweet 16, parties, and kind of like how MTV used to throw like My Super Sweet 16. Didn't you have like one of those super sweet MTV parties where your dress was actually the dress featured on the cover of 17 magazine?
Shh. Why are you sharing that?
So let's put this into perspective. Kirti's like, oh man, these engagement parties are competing with the wedding parties. And because it's like you have
What
people
does the
flying in
Sweet
from
16 have
all
to
over the
do-
world.
No, excuse
What are you
me.
talking about? What does that have to do?
Excuse me, comparing rocks and
it's
trees. I don't even know if that's a comparison.
Rocks and trees. Some trees grow in rocks. They're called. They
Anyway,
grow
you
from
are
bulbs.
comparing like
Hello.
totally weird things.
I'm not comparing anything. I'm just.
You know why? The
all I'm
audience for
doing-
the engagement party is probably going to be the similar audience to the wedding. And now you're obligating people to spend money multiple times to come out and support you and also give you multiple levels of gifts.
Yeah,
and
totally.
we haven't even talked about the bridal shower.
Oh,
And we haven't even talked about the bachelor party or bachelorette
party.
Okay.
Or what about maybe?
How can you compare this to a Sweet 16? Leave my Sweet 16 out of this.
So when you get engaged, I have an idea. So how about this? Instead of an engagement party, depending on the duration between engagement to wedding, every day is a party. Like, so for instance, you like line up friends and maybe you have, your close knit friends, then the extended friends, then the frenemies, you like line them all up. So maybe say you're going to get married in like 180 days. All of a sudden you're like, okay, let me round up 180 friends. And each day, one of those friends is responsible for doing something for me.
I have
or for
no
the
idea.
engagement
I have
couple.
no idea what you're talking about. And it seems
It's where every day is a party. It's like when you get engaged. Every day should be a party
We
versus
know-
a big blowout
we know,
party.
Like your close friends like calling you party in a box, but this is getting a little out of control.
It's
Question for you is
Yes.
when you first got engaged, did you have an engagement party?
you're talking about from the first one, the very
Yes.
first one. We actually had a small
Yes,
one.
in 1999.
In 1999. It wasn't 1999. It was later than 1999. I am not that old, people. I know I look like I'm 26, but I'm a couple years older than that. So we did have an engagement party, but it was something very casual that we threw ourselves in our apartment. And we just invited close friends and family. It was really, we actually didn't even call it an engagement party. We just called it an engagement gathering. And you want to know why? Because we were paying for a large chunk of the wedding ourselves. We were saving money. Family helped to contribute some to it, but we were footing the cost ourselves. And we, at the same time, didn't want to do something that we're talking about, obligating people to do something overly fancy. So we just threw something casual. I remember, we had it catered, but I also, me loving, I love punch and I love making punch and I like making different types of food for parties. So I was basically kind of built this whole party environment. And as you called me, party in a box. So I had like the music taken care of, food taken care of. Part of it I made, part of it we had catered. I took care of like the whole bar section, custom bespoke drinks, and then had a great time. But one of the memories that I do have from my engagement party was I remember at the end of the night, everyone had pretty much left. And my good friend, Rob, one of my best friends, Rob Mello, happened to stay over that night. And he was single at the time. And we have a duplex. At the time, I had a duplex. He was downstairs. And there's a couple other people that were still up that were there. I think it was my friend Mike Z. And we decided to put on one of my favorite movies, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was going to say what horror movie is this?
From 1974, the original Hooper version. And so we put that on. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Rob comes walking up the steps. He's like, dudes, all I hear is screaming. And have you ever seen that movie? There's pretty much people screaming throughout the entire movie, especially the woman that's always getting chased. She's like constantly screaming and like running through like windows and things like that. So he had to come up and watch the rest of the movie.
I think there are like 2 remakes of this too, honey.
Oh, there's more than 2 of me. There's like 10 versions of it now in all different, styles. And so it was like 3:30 in the morning. We're watching this movie and Rob comes up and we watched that movie the night of my engagement gathering, as we called it.
I guess that's a really clear explanation of the rest 10 years of his life after marriage.
Whoever knew that movie was just foreshadowing.
It's foreshadowing, indeed. It was actually Greg screaming for the next 10 years and running.
In the back of my head, run, Forrest, run!
Oh my God.
Oh, yes. So yes. So tell me about your engagement. Did you have an engagement party?
So I got engaged to a Indian gentleman, my former husband.
Yeah, an Indian gentleman, a genteel. Yes.
And so in the Indian culture, it's taken a lot more seriously.
That's just so cliche, an Indian getting engaged to an Indian.
It happened to be, but remember, I've always called him a coconut.
Yeah, that's true. Why is that?
Because he's brown on the outside and white on the inside.
Oh, so what exactly does that mean?
You're like the reverse. You're like a white coconut, but I'm brown on the inside.
What does that mean? So that's kind of an interesting dynamic between the two individuals. But we're gonna park that for a hot moment so we can get into the engagement. Then we'll come back and talk about coconuts.
Why do I feel like you're interviewing me?
Well, because you've threw out some like loaded dialogue in which I think needs some unpacking, especially for our audience. Don't you guys want to know what a coconut and a reverse coconut really means when it pertains to individuals? I know I do. But I think there's some other more interesting things that might have happened at an engagement party that I had heard about.
Yes. Well, we're not going to go into the details.
I think someone else should have been maybe watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and running as well.
But we are going to talk
things that we can't talk about
that culturally it's very interesting because I think normal people, I don't want to call it normal, but the norms of American society, when you get engaged, you may or may not just have like a party where you celebrate and party, like even the quote gathering that you guys had, right? But in the Indian culture, it's taken a lot more seriously. It's really critical for the two families to actually bring all their immediate family together. And this means bringing like my dad and his brother and sisters and their kids and whoever, along with my fiance's family and all his people. And they do this big traditional ceremony where they actually have me seated in a newly, in a new beautiful, it has to be green sari.
And green sari, is that for like rebirth or growing or something?
Symbolizes something like in our culture.
Nature and
yeah.
It's also an aphrodisiac, green, right?
But green is like a very important
Is it fertility?
color.
Is it like a fertility thing?
No, I think it's maybe more about like
new beginnings
or something. But they have us wear the green sari and we're seated on like this kind of royal-esque ornamented chair.
Ornamented.
And yeah, it's like all like flowered and really beautifully decorated. And all the Indian aunties and the females in the family, they all hand me like platters of things made of fruits, sweets, sugar, and like it's about sweetening my life.
So now we're talking first about like American engagement parties, but now you're talking about something lavish, elaborate, like over the top.
I didn't even expect
it sounds like a
this.
Bollywood movie.
I didn't expect this. Like I thought, okay, we both got engaged, and then they were like, yes, we'll have an engagement party.
Yeah.
And
I've heard rumors though. Sometimes in Indian culture, the man is known to be really upset that they're no longer going to be that their lives won't be free anymore. Is that like an Indian thing?
No, I don't think that's an Indian thing.
No,
I don't think so. I think Indian men take a lot of pride in like winning the prize. You know?
I see.
You know,
Especially if it's arranged or not.
Yeah, but we weren't arranged. We were very self coordinated that
see.
way. But long story short, very like ceremonial. And in fact, we even have like a Indian priest in attendance. And he writes up like a decree of some sort saying that we're bringing the two families together and they will be wed, in the coming like months.
Is that decree signed, or is that put in a temple? Or?
The two dads signed this. So it's like
That's interesting.
official.
Is it on stone? Is it etched on stone?
It's like on papyrus. It's like on beautiful, like
that's interesting.
fancy paper.
As in from like the store? You
like
just go to the store and grab it?
Rolled up like a...
Let's go to papyrus and grab like a little sheet of paper.
Shut up. No, like real papyrus, like paper.
Yeah, no, really?
Like actual silky paper.
Do you guys use like an actual quill on there?
Practically. It was an inky pen.
An inky pen?
It was
really?
inky.
When did pens start having ink?
It was super inky, like a fountain pen.
Okay, so it was like a rollerball pen.
No, it was fountain. It was a fountain pen.
Is the marker, then indelible ink?
It's like calligraphy.
Oh, so it's a style of writing. Yes. Do you have a professional calligrapher like
the
writing
priest
everything?
Wrote it. Like the priest wrote the whole thing up.
Oh, I see.
And then, so now we're bound. There's this paperwork, and then they have me change into.
Is it a swami technically?
Yeah, a swami.
Yeah.
And then they have me change into a more party wear. So now I'm in like party sari wear, which is like really beautiful. Like I had this gorgeous royal purple outfit. It was such a gorgeous sari. Like I still remember how beautiful it was. And my parents transformed our entire like basement into a party hall.
I was just going to ask, where was it? So this was at your place?
It was at my parents'
house. Is it tradition to have it at the house?
Yeah, you have it at like the house. And so they had converted the entire downstairs into like a party hall. And it was like round tables. My mom and dad went through all the trouble of going to Fortune Off and buying like all the like linen.
I can see, because you guys have a nice like downstairs area.
Yeah,
and you have like a separate bar there and everything.
Daddy,
and like a
had
cooking
the bar,
area.
and he also like built like a small dance floor. Like on the right side, that's like that wooden floor area.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it was a dance floor.
by the TV over there, or
to the right of it.
Oh, to the right. Oh, yeah.
There was like a dance
floor
set up.
Is there a dining room table there now, or
now there's a dining room table, but it's turned into more of an entertainment like hall. But it was crazy elaborate. Yeah, we had a DJ. And we had like him spinning, and it was like a party, a real party. So it was like a mini baby wedding, but with like 70 people. Like 50 to 70 people, not the 400 people, from like the regular.
I was thinking more like 1,500 people, but
No.
So if everyone has to come in for this, what happens in the next 10, 15, 20 years, say, because you're Aryan, right? Aryan race, you've been around for thousands of years, right? So in the next 15, 20 years, when we start sending people to Mars or to the moon to habitate those environments, are they going to have to like fly their way back here to be part of those ceremonies?
They might have to. They might have to space.
Or could they be like holograms or something? Will that count? Or do they have to physically be there?
We might have to. We might FaceTime them. FaceTime them into the event.
Oh, I see. That's so like 2005.
I know.
FaceTime.
It really is.
Low.
It really is. But like, by the way, I did not know that I would get gifts during this ceremony, and nor did I expect it. But people were like, you should register, and whatever you register for should also be your wedding registry.
I didn't know I was going to get gifts, but I registered for everything and got everything on my registry, but I just didn't know I was going to get anything.
Well, the whole thing was so in the Indian culture, we don't actually expect physical presence for our wedding.
But you do.
It's
you
tradition.
You just expected people to be there.
No, for the wedding, I just said.
I see.
Listen, Greg. Gosh. We only really the gifts are given at the engagement. Wedding in our culture, it's pretty traditional that you should only give cash because the idea is the couple needs money to start their life.
Oh, I see. Well, especially
do not give me a blender.
Yeah, especially after you've had like a lavish, essentially engagement party and like a multi-day, like super lavish wedding, and now the family has gone deep into debt and taken out massive loans. Let's give cash so they can actually start paying those back.
Pretty much. That sounds about right.
I see. That's interesting.
And
it sounds kind of like,
but
it doesn't sound Indian. It sounds more like a mob movie.
no, but
Do people give you an envelope,
difference.
like a white envelope with like just cash in it?
No, they're typically red.
Oh, they're red. Interesting.
They should be red or green.
So basically, your events are Christmas. You're wearing a green sari at the engagement, and then you get a red envelope. It's like silver and gold, silver and gold.
No, but this is the difference, right, in our expectations versus, I think, the new norms of Americans. They get registries for their engagement parties. They then also get registries for their bridal shower. They then also have a registry for the wedding. So Americans are constantly just looking for more gifts and gifts, like physical, superficial gifts.
So you know what I heard recently too, that people are registering for, and maybe I shouldn't say recently, but in the last 10 years, is that when you move to a new location, so maybe you buy a house or you have a new apartment and you have a housewarming party.
Okay.
I hear now what people do is they register for gifts for their housewarming party.
Stop.
That's like the most obnoxious thing I've ever heard in my life. You're actually registering, and then the people you invite then go to the registry and buy you items off of that list for your housewarming party.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, I think it's totally weird.
My whole point is, like, it depends on your culture, your background, and some of those maybe cultural obligations too.
If we do that, you know what we should do? If we move again, we should do that and like put like a new sofa on there.
I don't want that.
You know, we should put like, I don't know.
No, people will not. No.
Oh, you want what we should put on there? We should register for a Picasso.
You know what I do like about the
Wouldn't that
new
be hot?
Registry?
Not Picasso, but Picasso.
No, but I kind of like the new thing that people are doing.
What's that?
Is when they're getting married, they have like a fund created, not a fund, but it's like donate towards their honeymoon.
I've done that before where I've actually not only donate towards the honeymoon, I've seen people put at their honeymoon location excursions.
Right.
And you can like contribute towards an excursion.
Towards that.
Like,
I think that's really cool.
I think that's cool. I remember, I forget which friend it was. I contributed
I'd
towards
rather do that than buy like
the helicopter. They went to Hawaii,
wine
contributed
glasses
towards
for
like the
people.
helicopter excursion.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
doing. So it was great. Yeah. That's fun.
I
That's
think
fun.
I
That's
think it's
totally
a
fun.
very cool gift.
I think that's cool.
Kind of experience.
It's actually experiential.
Yes. I think
Something
for
they'll remember
us,
for the
we
rest of
don't
their life.
like, so when we do get married, I think the only thing I would put out there is if anybody wants to help contribute towards our honeymoon.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's it.
We should probably set that up now because we're gonna need a lot of
We
donations.
could use the dollars right now.
Yeah, we could use the dollars right now. Especially what our honeymoon's gonna be, 4, 5, 8 weeks? I'm joking.
I wish.
That would be nice.
That would be amazing.
That'd be a pretty amazing
I'd have to take
honeymoon.
like sabbatical from work.
I know, seriously.
But
Have people watch the kids.
I actually think it could be really fun to have a long engagement. I'm enjoying being engaged to you.
I love being engaged to you. There's nothing more in this world that I, would rather be than engaged than married to you. Absolutely. And then with our kids too.
But
love
I
our
do.
kids, so.
But I do have a bit of FOMO.
For FOMO, for
people-
those that are engaged and then getting married.
Yeah, they're getting to plan their wedding, and we haven't.
Well, we haven't quite yet, but we'll get
We
into
haven't
planning.
done anything.
Well, we are living the engagement life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Living
Yes.
the engagement life.
The engagement life.
Okay.
And those who have been engaged know what the engagement life is.
What is the engagement life?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think it is?
I sort of feel like, when a person dies and they're stuck between like.
It's called purgatory. Like
Yeah.
they're stuck between.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in purgatory.
Why do you think? No, but
I'm in
purgatory's a
wedding
horrible place.
purgatory.
So does that mean like your ghost is going to start walking around? Ooh, I'm not married yet. Is that why I've been having nightmares in my dreams?
Probably.
I don't know. I wonder. It's quite interesting. Or just all the scary movies we watch.
But someone said something recently to us that I thought was really kind of sweet. Is I may be a fiance for an extended period of time, probably a little bit more than I anticipated.
Same here.
But
We
once
thought
we
things
get,
would have moved along a little more swiftly.
yeah, but once we do get married, at least I'll be your wife forever, and this would be the
That
only
is
time period
true.
where I will play the role of fiance.
That is quite true.
That's how I have to start to look at it, because I am a half glass full person.
Oh, that's good. I'm like a glass full person.
Oh, why'd you have to one up me?
Well, I'm not one-upping you. I just like it full. So back to the engagement parties. Tell me, coconut, reverse coconut. What's a coconut and what's a reverse coconut?
I said already.
No, you didn't. You started going.
A coconut is a person who is brown on the outside, but they have white man tendencies.
Oh, you didn't say white man tendencies. You said white on the inside. So I hate this term. Let's unpack this. But let's unpack this.
Well,
what does that even mean?
Basically,
Is this like an Indian dude who doesn't like Bollywood or listen to Bollywood music or what?
yeah,
What?
I think there's some elements of that. Like it's basically you could be Indian or you could be whatever other ethnic nationalities, but you know, your tendencies or interests really lean towards the kind of uncultured Caucasian vibes.
Uncultured. So basically, you just called white people uncultured beings.
I'm not calling white people uncultured.
That's what you just said. Uncultured white people
No,
vibes.
I mean like
what does that even mean?
like you eat only hamburgers and French fries, and you only watch American-made movies, and
Who does
know,
that?
and you don't go anywhere around the world and eat food from other cultures, or you just have nothing else really.
That sounds boring. I wouldn't even say that. That's an insipid life, not
seems
a
like
white person
It's
life.
like in middle America life.
That could be anywhere. So now you're generalizing.
I know, I'm so bad.
I know, it's pretty bad. Well, it's a good thing I'm olive skinned. So, or else I would take that as a
You're
direct
more
insult.
you're more cultured and open-minded than some even.
What
Look,
does that even mean? She's like, oh, you're more like you're comparing me against the dregs of society. That's messed up.
well, we're working on your like food choices.
What do you mean working on my food choices? Excuse me, I actually
there
eat,
are things beyond roast beef sandwiches
and which I eat twice a year.
and
twice
craving
a
only
year.
buffalo chicken wings.
I do like
and
that, but that's you're calling out things that I eat like 3 times a year versus everything else that I eat.
You mean the preserved ready-made dips that you kind of chomp on?
No, that's because we make our own
pretzels
dips. I love pretzels. I admit I've always loved pretzels as a child. But we go deep into Thai. We go deep into Mediterranean. We go deep into Middle Eastern. We go deep into every form of cultural food that there is.
Yes.
In fact, I actually have a wider palate than you do.
You know what? You're welcome. You're eating all those things because of me.
That's
if
not
I
true.
left it
I
to
was
you,
eating- I
you'd
was
be
eating those-
ordering pizza
I was eating everything.
and your freaking eggplant
I was-
parm heroes.
Oh, I
all
love eggplant
the
parm. Who
time.
doesn't love eggplant parm?
I
Come on
love it
now.
too.
I know you do. See,
We might have to
But
have
I was
it
eating all
tonight.
this before I met you as well. Hello. Probably that's why we connected because we do love
You were
cultural
not
things.
eating all of this before
Yes,
me.
I was. Absolutely, I was. What was I not eating beforehand?
You told me I don't eat Thai food because when it was ordered around me, it was ordered bland, and now I'm bored of it.
Yeah, no. I said I ate.
You
no,
also did
I
not
was bored
eat
of Thai
Indian
because I
food.
ate too much Thai.
You
I was
did
eating
not
quite a
eat
bit of Thai.
as much Indian food. There was only one
Oh, no.
Indian restaurant
Okay, I was
that
eating,
you
no, I was eating,
would
no.
very seldom
I was eating more
eat from.
northern Indian versus more southern-based Indian food. I
mean
agree with you
all types of
there.
Indian?
Yes, there's multiple different styles of Indian, and most people probably do not realize that there's different styles, and whether it's creamy, less creamy, and oily, less oily. All these different styles of eating. Based upon India and all the different cultural areas of
You
India.
did not eat
regional areas.
true proper Szechuan food. Tell me.
I know, I've had
You told me
Szechuan prior.
all you ate was your like chicken and broccoli from like American
no, because
Chinese.
I used to actually, well, I'm not even a big, we don't even eat that much Chinese food, but I do enjoy a chicken and broccoli or chicken with garlic sauce.
I have no idea how we're talking about chicken and broccoli right now.
I have no idea either, but no, I actually eat a wider
you
selection
are
of food
the
than you do.
opposite of like the whole coconut situation. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
You passed the grade.
Oh, I passed the grade. Wow.
I mean,
I'd say it's less about passing. It's like I beyond excel because, as mentioned, I eat a wider variety of food
because
than
you
you
can
do.
eat so much hot sauce. Is that why?
Oh, well, hot sauce is a conversation that we could there could be a whole entire pod dedicated to hot sauce and the different types of hot peppers that we eat. So basically, everyone's telling me I should be on that show, that chicken wing show.
That is true.
where they try, and each like batch, you kind of go hotter and hotter and hotter. I'm going to put this out there. I'm willing to bet that I could probably eat hotter than anyone on that show. What do you think?
I think there is an opportunity for you to be on that show. I did a hot sauce contest once, and it took my palate a while to recover.
But if you think about it, we eat fresh habaneros, we eat fresh Carolina Reaper, we eat fresh chocolate ghost, we eat fresh scorpion. We eat pretty much fresh everything.
The key to a happily engaged couple
is just
hot
eat
sauce.
the hottest peppers you can possibly eat. It makes life steamy.
So can I ask you a question? Going back to like our engagement topic here.
Oh, yes.
What were some of the worst gifts that you received from this engagement gathering?
Actually, we didn't have anyone bring us gifts for the engagement gathering. No, it was just, we just wanted people to come over.
Didn't just naturally bring a gift?
I don't remember if people probably did. But if anything, they were just kind of probably small type gifts. But we when we put out the invite to everyone, we said, don't worry about bringing gifts. Just come and celebrate and have a party with us. Let's, eat, drink, dance, have fun. And I'm sure we did receive gifts. I might be blurring from what we might have received from that as well as the wedding. But I don't think anything really stood out from the engagement party. And again, we didn't ask people for gifts anyway.
Well, being that I had this very, I will say, big engagement celebration in my first situation, I got some weird gifts.
Like what?
I received a lot of, oddly enough, Mikasa crystalware, which I had no desire for.
Mikasa.
I mean, for those of you not born till 2010, Mikasa was this like hideous crystalware.
I just don't know.
Why give crystal to a 23-year-old girl getting married?
My first thought would be, based on the way that you described your engagement party, that there would have been a bouncer at the door. And if anyone showed up with anything Mikasa, they would not have been let in unless it was at least Waterford.
Well, here's the thing. I opened the gifts after everyone left, right?
No, there should be someone scanning it and like X-ray vision. Nope, you're gone. Nope, you're tossed. Nope, you're not. In fact, you're no longer a member of the family. Remove yourself from the family tree.
Yeah.
Actually, I should make fun of Mikasa. I have some old school Mikasa things that
No, Mikasa is like so not cool.
I didn't get it as like wedding gifts, but I've had some family members buy.
It's like also like
things
receiving something from Corningware. Don't give gifts that we can buy for ourselves. Don't give gifts that we can buy for ourselves, like Pyrex or Corningware. Never give Mikasa. Like, it's just like nobody needs crystal in the house. It's cheesy, really cheesy. Do you agree with that? Do we need crystalware?
Except the only crystal that
it's 1985.
It's 1985, but the crystalware that is nice to get is lead crystal, which would be nice, barware essentially. Whether it's lead crystal, champagne glasses, lead crystal, wine glasses, things like that are nice. Like especially like Riedel or like other brands like that.
I know, but
really nice lead crystal.
But only if they're like on our list.
Yeah, only if it's on our list.
Like I got
because otherwise we don't need it. We're at an age now.
I got really hitty stuff.
Oh, well, but also we're at an age where if we did throw an engagement party,
I don't want gifts from people.
We don't. What do we need? Because we already have everything for the most part that we.
You know what's always great? Give a nice bottle of champagne.
We do love champagne,
or like a really lovely bottle of like wine or liquor if people are drinkers. If they're not drinkers, there's alternatives today for that too.
Yep.
But like, give something that's about celebrating with them and that you can enjoy together too.
I concur. Well, I mean, we also like Broadway show tickets. Concert tickets, we can take that. Well,
I mean, who doesn't want to?
We'll accept that as a as a gift.
Beyonce VIP package, at MetLife.
The VIP package, which has nothing VIP about it.
Just nothing.
I love the way I love the way they say it on Ticketmaster. You get the VIP like Beyonce package, and it says photo opportunities with an asterisk, and it says on the bottom does not include artist. So what are the exclusive photo
the
opportunities?
Photo is of me in front of the stage?
Yeah, is it
I
like
can do that
me
with my own
with-
selfie stick.
Correct. I'm trying to figure out what but Ticketmaster has been doing this for years. They throw the platinum packages, they throw the VIP packages. It's full of BS.
Well,
It's
remember we talked about this
100%
idea,
BS.
like if we were going to have an engagement party or even a wedding idea, was taking a close group of friends to a concert.
Go to a concert. Yeah, that was one of our thoughts. Why don't we grab a bunch of friends? We go to a concert and then
Like
just go
instead of
party
like
afterwards.
just another party where people just booze
Yeah, we
it
get married
up.
at Town Hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
City Hall, technically down
Yeah.
there. City Hall. Then we go hit a concert, and then we just go party. That was one idea we had. Then the other idea was why don't we do something elaborate, the elephant style, and I come out on the elephant.
Yeah, I'm going to whip out an elephant from my family's.
Well, we'd have to do it. So if we do it here in New York City, we'd have to wait till like Barnum Bailey comes to town. This way we can rent one of the elephants while they're in town.
Well, my brother-in-law walked
that?
down Fifth Avenue, or was it right by like the hotel where they got married, the fancy one, the Pierre. They actually closed it off so that like he could walk down.
With an elephant?
No, with a horse.
Oh, with a horse.
Was it a horse? I can't even remember now. It was so long ago.
Just kind of trot his way down.
Yeah, but like it was like they closed off the street there so he can actually
that's fun.
march down.
That's
It was
fun.
really cool.
Then there's the other thought that we had, this was an ambitious thought. We do a traditional Indian wedding in India because you're from India. And then with me and my background.
Well, my family is.
Where your family is. And then me with my background and family being on the Amalfi Coast, we do India. Then we do another ceremony in the Amalfi.
I thought we were supposed to do that reverse.
Or maybe, either
No,
reverse, one or the
we
other.
were saying we would
On
do the
Amalfi in Italy.
ceremony in Amalfi.
Well, we were doing maybe do ceremony in each. That way,
No, we can't do
relatives
ceremony in
couldn't-
each. No.
But that was the original conversation.
No, my original, I
And-
nixed
and
that
then,
a long
and then
time
we'd
ago.
have the honeymoon. But the problem with that would be probably like a 2-3. That'd be like an 8-week extravaganza, which we wouldn't
And
be
also
able
a
to do.
$500,000.
Well, that's why for our engagement party, which we're probably not going to throw, instead of throwing the party, we're just going to open up an engagement fund.
You mean a wedding fund?
No, it's an engagement fund. Instead of an engagement party, people just send us money. We say, hey, we send them a picture of us and say, hey, here's our engagement photo.
What? You
And we'll sign it. We'll autograph it. We'll even put like a Got Spice logo on it. Collector's item. You can NFT it. We'll collector's item 1 through 10,000.
interesting, honey.
Yeah, I
Very
think that's
interesting.
tremendous.
So,
Great idea.
question for
I know
you.
you know it's a great idea.
In terms of your ideas are outlandish, and I'm going to go bankrupt, I think, if I adhere to your.
If you look at the biggest companies of all
Suggestions.
time, has been someone dreamt of an idea and then they executed upon it. The Wright brothers, Henry Ford, everyone,
You're so inspirational.
Elon Musk.
He's crazy.
I know he is crazy.
Weddings.
Yes.
What traditions are you keen on sticking to when we get married?
For weddings.
And ours is a unique situation since our wedding is interracial. What wedding traditions are you keen to like kind of execute upon versus maybe like, cause yours being Catholic, very Jesus-y.
I think the only
And then
thing.
mine's like 85 gods.
Yeah, it's true. You have a lot of gods. You do. We have like God and Jesus.
Yeah, but
In thinking about it, I think the only thing that's probably important to me, remove, many of the traditions. There's probably only one thing important to me is, the vows, the traditional Catholic vows of where you recite, I will obey you. That's probably it.
What?
That's in like traditional vows where it says like the woman actually says, I will obey you.
Doesn't the man say it back to her?
No. Nope.
Really? Yeah, we're not keeping those vows.
No, I'm joking. We don't have to keep any
Babe,
of those.
I'm sorry.
There's actually nothing I'm okay. You know me. I'm not really the most traditional of traditional people. I kind of beat to my own drum. There's really nothing there's actually nothing traditional I could think of that I am currently wed to, lack of a better term.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Really, no. I just want to have a beautiful day, a beautiful time, us.
I
friends,
like how you assume it's
family.
going to be a day.
Well, day is relative.
It'll probably be 3 days if you want to have it like the quote Indian style.
It could be multiple days. I was just referring.
I mean, we're going to have a purification ceremony. We're going to have like a big dance Sangeet party.
Oh, very nice.
And then we have the actual wedding ceremony followed by the reception.
That's good. A purification ceremony is good because the amount of expletives you drop on a daily basis, we need to clean that shit up.
I know. You're right.
I know. I am right.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
I know. Let's get that purified. So no, there's really no traditions that I'm. Maybe when we go into planning, I'll just start thinking of things, and I'm sure there's things that I've forgotten about. But there's nothing really I'm.
Well, on
stuck
your
upon,
side, there's
really.
like the tradition of like the reception dinner, right?
Well, I mean, the typical format is there's the ceremony, right? Then you come outside of the church, and everyone's throwing like rice, which actually isn't. Which isn't good for birds now because they like expand birds' stomachs. So now they actually throw bird seed at you instead when you come out of the church. Yes, and then you have then typically you go for photos, or sometimes people do photos now beforehand.
But this is just the day of you're talking.
This is just the day of. Then there is the cocktail hour, and then there's the reception. Then typically an after party. We don't have to follow any of those formats whatsoever. I just want us to have. I want our wedding to be about what you and I want, without feeling a burden of having to follow maybe traditions. If we want to put traditions in, that's totally cool. I'm not against it, but it should be what we want and what we expect, not what others expect of us, because that's not fair. It's our time.
Yeah.
And this is also a second wedding, and it's not like, hey, someone's getting married, and like traditionally maybe someone's getting married and one of the parents or maybe both parents are paying for it, so they feel like those that are getting married feel like they have to kind of conform to what their parents want because it's being underwritten technically by their parents. But for us, it's a second wedding. We can go about it the way that we want it and make it special the way that we want it to be. That's all. That's actually all I care about.
Well, that's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I have things that I definitely want to do.
Okay, let's hear about these. Let's hear about what is it that you want to do.
Well, I think I would like kind of like a hybrid of your culture and my culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it would be fun.
Like you want the Ave Marie?
No.
Ave
That song is sad to me.
Marie.
I know it's your name.
It's our name, yeah. So for anyone who does not know that my mother's maiden name, before they assimilated into society here and changed it to Avery, it was Ave Grazia Plena.
I think right now last I heard it was at one of your family members' funerals.
Yeah, it's played at
So
every.
It's just like a little depressing when I think about it.
Well, the funny thing is, it's a song that's sung during every occasion, whether it's
Like
a
sad or
funeral,
happy.
a wedding. It's like it's sad or happy. It's one of those that's just because it's a sad sounding song.
It's a sad sounding song.
It's a sad sounding song, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like when you hear people sing it, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was at a funeral recently that we were at, and a person close to me, but the woman there sang it beautifully.
She sounded beautiful.
It was a tearjerker. Yeah, it was gorgeous. So let's bring this up back to the note of what you're anticipating. So you want to bring culture together from both of us. So you're basically saying that if we're going to so there's a couple different things here. One, because I'm a 50% Italian, but then I'm also Austrian and English. So the way I'm looking at this, if we're bringing the culture in, so if we're bringing Italian in, we have to have some like prosciutto. We need some.
You're talking about food?
Parmesan.
No, this is not about just food.
But hold on. But then because my English side, we're going to have to go Northern Indian food where it's creamy and our like tikka masalas and things like that, because the English brought that type of influence to the Indian food. And then Austrian, I mean, who really wants to eat Austrian food? So we'll just leave that off on the side.
No offense. Not really known for its cuisine.
Yeah, no, it's not.
At all.
Although England has some great Indian restaurants in it now.
Yes, because they're
Yes.
Indian people making it.
Yes. Well, yes, of course. Yes.
They're not because they're imperialistic British people making it.
Yes, I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to, yes, that they are authentic in that nature. So back to, yes, the semblance of cultures. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I mean, you guys don't have much culturally.
What in terms of Italy?
Like,
Italy has a ton of culture.
yes, you guys have food
Mm-hmm.
and fashion. I'm talking about the wedding process.
Oh, okay. So let's hear.
We're talking about wedding, Greg.
I
You keep
understand.
going to food.
Well, no, I'm going to just culture overall as a general term. So give me
I just told you all the things that we have.
Yes, I know.
We've got the henna ceremony. Then we've got the sangeet. And then we've got the purification ceremony.
Hold on one sec. So we might have to make this pod. By the time you're done listing all these things, it might be a 3, 4, maybe 8 hour pod.
Yeah, pretty much. Then we've got the actual wedding ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
followed by the reception. And then the next morning, there's usually like a family brunch of some sort, unless
that's
we
right.
leave
We had a family
on-
brunch when I was married. Yeah, I
Unless
forgot
we
about
leave on
that.
our honeymoon right
Correct.
away.
Which I'm not a big fan of that. So same thing after I was first married, we had the brunch the next day.
Yeah.
I prefer not rushing away because especially you just want to party like and have fun that entire night. This way you can get up, have some brunch, have something to eat, show up when you want to show up, and then chill, and then pack, and then go
And then
away.
go to the honeymoon.
Yeah, then go to the honeymoon.
But so I kind of like want to do all of that.
But I feel like I live on a perpetual honeymoon already. I
No,
do.
but the honeymoon that we're going to plan is going to be amazing.
Of course it will be. Absolutely.
I already know what I'm going to plan for us.
Oh, you're planning it for us.
I'm going to plan
How do you know I don't already have it planned?
You don't plan vacations.
Of
Greg.
course I do. I partake in our vacation planning.
What?
I'm just not as much of a pro as you are.
This will be a whole other pod.
Vacation planning.
By Greg, never.
What are you talking about?
You don't know how to take time off. You're a workaholic.
I cannot disagree with you there. I do have a hard time taking time off.
So, of all those events that I think we should plan for, which you said will be an 8-hour pod if I were to do that,
At least.
can we just say
And during that, how many outfit changes will there be during that 8-hour pod?
so there's an outfit for the Sangeet / henna, outfit for the
And a Sangeet, for those who do not know what a Sangeet is, that's like the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, basically. So that's where I thought that's our culture coming together. It's like the same thing.
I didn't mention that earlier, but we also had a rehearsal dinner as well. So yes. So it's the same kind of format structurally.
Yeah, but ours is way more fun. We just don't
Okay.
sit at a table and eat.
Yeah, I'm not a
We're
fan
getting
of sitting
henna
at a table
tattoos. We're having a DJ.
Do you like
have a
henna?
dance. I love getting henna,
Do you?
and it actually is a cooling element when you on the hot days. It's got a natural element to it that's actually good for you. Plus, there's supposed to be a game incorporated with it.
With henna or just in
When
henna?
the henna artist puts the henna on the bride, she hides the initials of the groom in the hand,
Oh,
and
I
the
thought you were
groom
gonna
needs
say
to
it's
find
like
it.
being in high school when someone back in the 90s when people would get drunk and pass out, they'd draw pictures of penises on them, and they'd have to find where it was or didn't
no.
realize it. I wasn't sure if that's where you're going with the game.
Wow,
is.
this is where the cultural distinctions exist.
No, I'm totally joking. I'm just going off of what those 90s movies did. That's all. I never saw anything like
they
that
didn't
in
really
person.
have a henna wedding party in those movies.
Yeah, no.
No.
Maybe some of them. So anyway, back to henna. There's a game. I didn't realize that there's an actual.
There's an element of a game incorporated in
It's
that.
finding the initials of the bride and groom.
Of the groom has to find his initials
Oh, on the female.
On the female,
Oh, that's fun.
yeah.
That's cool.
And
how much when a female bride is hennaed, if that's the correct term,
tattooed?
tattooed. How much of her body
I think that's
is tattooed?
That's individual.
Preference.
Yeah, I only got it to here because I didn't want it too much.
So right above your wrist.
Yeah, I had it done previously right above my wrist. And then also like my feet and stuff.
How long does that take?
Took hours. You have to sit there for hours while it's being done.
And then it has to dry.
And then you have to sleep with it on.
And it lasts for a while, right?
Yeah. So a lot of times the henna party happens the day before the Sangeet. So that, because it's like such a process, so
Yeah.
that when you come to the Sangeet, you already have like the tattoo on and you're in like the cool looking garb. Which, speaking of, have you observed how a lot of US fashion now is leaning towards like similar kind of stylistic wear as like Indian
Oh, it's funny.
clothing?
We were talking about that. Yeah.
Like all the gowns,
Yeah.
like at Ken, and or like even the recent Oscars and these awards, they're all wearing like a two-piece.
Almost Indian influenced.
Yeah, it's
clothing.
like lengas.
That's the one thing I should have mentioned is when you had asked, is there any tradition? I would actually love to see you in a sari. I wasn't, because we had talked about, we're not, you never mentioned if you were going to wear a sari or not. And so that's actually, of all the traditions, that's pretty much the only tradition I will ask for is I would love to see you in like a gorgeous sari, because I think you would be
Sari or
incredibly
the
gorgeous.
lenga?
I'd rather see you in a sari.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like a lenga, like a little top and like the bottom?
Well, no, that'll be like for one of that could be for the Sangeet or something else, but for the actual wedding ceremony itself, I think.
Well,
you'd look
wedding
gorgeous in it,
ceremony, it depends. We do either. Like we do like our gowns are actually
because
like,
your sari still shows like stomach area, right? When you're all wrapped up in 9 yards worth, still, right?
yeah,
So
it still does.
yeah, so it still does. It's still sexy.
We shall discuss this.
We shall discuss
We shall
on
see.
the Got Spice wedding pod.
Well, maybe a way I could like bring in a little bit of an
What
American
happens if
flair.
Mikasa wants to come in and now sponsor us?
No, Mikasa. Off brand.
Brand.
Not really.
Oh, that's pretty funny actually if you think about it.
My idea also is to marry, no pun intended, our cultures. Like maybe I wear like a cream or like a more Americanish color in the Indian style so that it's a little bit nod to your side of the pond
I see. Okay.
versus like
Yeah.
red or orange or like a wild color.
Okay. You can wear what you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
We'll make it fun.
I can't wait till we get to actually plan our
I know we
wedding
can start
together.
planning. Yeah. That'll be
Because
a
one thing
super
you and
duper
I
fun
do well
time.
together is we're good event planners
Yeah,
together.
we do. We know how to throw an event. We know how to throw parties.
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
Yeah. And based on one thing that we're known for, I'm assuming probably out of that 7 to 14 day extravaganza of this wedding that we're talking about, I'm sure there will probably be an element, and I'm only mentioning this because when people come over and we throw parties, what do they love to do?
Dance,
Well, they love to dance.
sing.
There will probably be an element of like karaoke of sorts.
Oh, I don't know about that at the wedding. Maybe at the Sangeet.
I'm saying out of the 14-day extravaganza, somewhere in there, yes.
We're going to make it a 4-day extravaganza, not 14.
But what we're going to do for our friends who aren't as good of vocalists, we'll probably get some auto-tune in, like a
Yeah.
professional,
We'll have something to facilitate or aid it.
We'll bring an engineer in to mix it live.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Get
the-
Roger.
So there'll be like, like on TV, they do 7-second delays now,
Yeah.
to make, to be able to like bleep out anything that's inappropriate. We're going to have a 7-second delay during our karaoke session. So when people are singing, they're actually not going to hear it till 7 seconds afterwards because it's going to be mixed. So when it's coming out of the speaker, it's going to be like perfect.
Oh, it's like being at a Britney Spears concert.
Yes, exactly. Or an old school Madonna concert.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we
So-
have so much to plan.
We do. Should we get started planning?
I mean, let's see where it happens.